And we'll go ahead and come to standing at the top of your mat, please and thanks. See you all getting settled there. Take your feet underneath your hips, about hip width. Bring your palms to your heart. Eyes could be open or closed here. It's really up to you. With a little soft bend in your knees. Just rock back and forth to the front of your foot and the back. Starting to make acquaintances with your mat and bring yourself into the present moment. Maybe even rock side to side a little bit. Gentle sway. Feeling the connection between the soles of your feet and the earth. And find a sturdy point in the middle of all of those four corners. Knees slightly bent for buoyancy. Open up the backs of your legs. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Relax any lingering tension in your jaw or your eyebrows. And take a deep breath in, up from the soles of your feet, all the way up to the crown of your head. Reach up through the crown of your head and exhale, release. Let's take two more mindful breaths just like that, paying attention to the sensations of your inhale. And then your exhale as it glides over your top lip. Last one, full inhale, really fill up your lungs. And take your time, full exhale. Pause with your hands at your heart. Begin to notice the physical sensations of your breath as it rises and falls. Chest lifts with your inhale and subtly lowers with your exhale. Notice the sounds of your breath as you breathe in and out. Notice how those sensations change. Continue to breathe, observing the impermanent nature of your in-breath and out-breath. Getting a sense for its beginning, middle, and end. Notice any thoughts or images that may arise and then pass away. Relaxed, calm yet alert. Noticing all of the sensations, feelings of the body, feelings of the mind, and allowing them to rise and pass away into the open experience of your mind. Let's take another deep inhale together. Exhale, release. Now let's add some movement. Release your arms. Press down into your feet. Reach out and up through your hands over the top of your head. Gaze up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands through center. A nice, slow, easy pace. Breathe out and up. Palms overhead. Exhale through your midline. One more, like a flame, drawing in oxygen. Exhale, hands through center. Release your arms, press down through your feet, lift up through the crown of your head, gaze towards your palms, Bend at your knees, send your hips back, heart forward, hands come all the way down to the earth. Let's come right back up. Lead with your heart, arms reach out, exhale, press down. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, sweep out. Exhale, hinge, nice bend in your knees so you can get your hands all the way down to the earth. Inhale, rise up, press through your feet. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press down, rise up, gaze towards your palms. Exhale, hinge forward, palms down to the earth. And this time, pull your hands up your shins, lengthen out halfway. Exhale, fold, bend at your knees as much as you need to. Palms trace up your shins, press your palms into your shins, lengthen through the crown of your head, and fold. Again, halfway, use your strong back. Lengthen out, and exhale, release. Step back into downward dog. Bend one knee at a time here in downward dog. Stretch out through the backs of your legs. Explore with curiosity how your hips feel, how your shoulders feel. And try to keep it a curiosity, not passing any judgments on how open or tight you should or shouldn't feel. Take your heels over to the right, stretch out through your left side. Ooh. Make some morning wake up noises. And then take your heels through center over to the left. Big side stretch. Breathe into your right side ribs. And then back to center. Take a moment to feel grounded in your downward dog. Hips as wide as your knees as wide as your hips. A slight bend in your knees can be very helpful, especially if your hamstrings are still in a state of waking up. Hands as wide as your shoulders, fingers spread really wide. So you've got a secure and wide foundation connection with the earth. First finger, your pointer finger, aligned with the outside edge of your mat. So your hands are turned slightly open. Reach from the crown of your head to your tailbone, and then from your tailbone down to your heels. Even if you have a slight bend in your knees, you can still create that tension from heels pressing down and hips lifting up. Now lift through your heels over toes, tuck your chin, round your upper back, and roll forward like a wave into plank, shoulders arriving over wrists. Inhale, draw navel to spine, lift from center. Exhale, back to downward dog, soften through your ankles. Again, tuck your chin, round forward. Reach your sternum forward, reach your heels back as you feel the strength of plank. Then draw up, lift your hips back to downward dog. Last time, roll forward, articulate your spine. Arrive here in plank like a wave arriving to shore. And from plank, gaze towards the front of your mat. Keep your hips where they are. Take your heels over to the right. Shoulders stay right over your wrists. Inhale, heels through center. Exhale, heels to the left. A little bit of a twist action here. Inhale your heels back to center. And now with patience and strength, elbows point back, lower down to mat. Balance the strength with ease. We'll take 3 rounds of Cobra together. And this first one, just take a little baby Cobra. Loop your shoulders, reach your heart forward, and release back down. And maybe add some more fluid motion to the next one, leading with your left shoulder, open up for Sahaja Bhujangasana, and exhale. Then take your left shoulder down and back to the mat. We'll try the other side. Loop your right shoulder, lift up, look over to your right, square off, and then right shoulder down, back to the mat. If you want to even that out with one more square cobra, who needs a square cobra? And then exhale, release. Basic cobras are no fun. Tuck your toes, knees lift, navel to spine through plank or knee plank, or even child's pose, back to downward dog. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths to clear the slate before we start really moving. Deep inhale. Exhale, stick your tongue out, release. 2 more. Last one. Really make some noise. Now inhale, your right leg, reach back and out through your right heel. Stretch from navel to right heel. Exhale, draw your knee in through center. Shift forward. Place your right foot next to your right thumb. If it doesn't get all the way up there in the first try, you can just use your hand, manually get her up there. Press down into the earth, arms sweep forward and up. Lift through your heart. Exhale, sweep your hands back, lengthen through your back leg. Inhale, arms forward and up, palms together. Exhale, hands through center, down to the mat. Press your fingertips down, tuck your chin, round your upper back, and then exhale, lion's breath if you'd like. Seal your palms into the mat, step back into plank with control, and then navel draws to spine. Resist gravity as you make your way back down to the earth. Tops of feet anchor, fingertips press down, shoulders loop. Keep the back of your neck long as you use your back to lift you off the mat, and release. Hands underneath your shoulders, toes tuck through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Left leg lifts. Reach out through your heel. Exhale, draw your knee in, lift, and place your left foot next to your left thumb. Inhale, rise up through cobra, gaze towards the horizon. Exhale, sweep your hands back, feel your triceps come online. Inhale, hands over your head, palms together, hinge forward from your hips, fingertips press down. Draw energy in from the earth, round the space behind your heart, and exhale, press your feet down and apart as you release. Seal your palms, step into plank. Pull your thigh bones up as you lower down. Tops of fingers press down, shoulders loop, feet reach back, and release. Hands underneath your shoulders, back to downward dog. Okay, right side again, reach out through your right heel, lead with your breath. Exhale, foot to thumb. Use the energy of the earth to press down, lift you up. Exhale, sweep your arms all the way back. Inhale again, over your head, palms seal. Reach back through your left heel, forward through your heart. Press your fingertips down. Pull your feet together as you tuck your chin. Press down, lift up behind your heart. Exhale, forward, and then back to plank. Slowly, with strength, and then smoothly with ease in cobra. Tuck your toes, plank to downward dog. Left leg, inhale, reach out. Exhale, lift, shift forward, foot to thumb. Press down, rise up. Exhale, pinkies lead, sweep back. Open up across your heart as you lift your arms. Exhale, pour your heart forward. Inhale, draw in, press down to your fingertips. Exhale, press your feet down and apart, lengthen through your spine. Seal your hands to your mat. Step into plank. Feel the strength and structure of the foundation as you lower down. And then balancing that with ease and fluidity. Tuck your toes and back to downward dog. Right side, inhale, lift, reach out. Exhale, knee to center, foot to thumb. Slight bend in your back knee as you rise up. Exhale, reach back, extend through your back heel. Inhale, lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, dive back down. Lunge, pulse, press down, broaden across your shoulders. Exhale, lengthen through your spine. Step back into plank. Press into your fingertips, elbows brush your ribs as you lower down. Fingertips press down, shoulders loop. Reach your heart forward and soften back down. Back through plank to downward dog. Left side, reach back out through your heel. Knee to center, shift forward. Slight bend in your back knee, rise up. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, hands over your head. Exhale, back to the earth. Lunge, pulse, press down into your fingertips, round, and then lengthen. Step back into plank. And return to the earth. Peel yourself off the mat for cobra. Open your heart and exhale, soften back down. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, back up to downward dog and pause. Here in downward dog for 3 breaths. Take your time to feel the full length of an inhale and an exhale. Stay strong through your shoulders. Soft bend in your knees. And then walk your feet to the front of the mat towards your hands. Pull your hands, bend your knees as much as you need to here to keep your hands down on the earth. Pull your hands up towards your knees, press into your shins, lengthen out through your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Shift your weight towards the back of your heel. So your toes might even lift, but they don't have to. And then sweep your arms along your sides, forward and up. We're headed towards chair pose. So what we want to avoid is banana back, where there's too much of a dip in your lower back, and cashew back. So when we're in banana back, we have this anterior tilt of our pelvis, and then too much of a posterior tilt in cashew. So you want to find the neutral space between the two. Arms reaching up, feet reaching out strongly through your fingertips, and then your hips reach back and lower down. And from here, we'll add some movement. It doesn't have to be super vigorous. I'll let you kind of decide your own pace. Exhale, sweep your hands back. Inhale, up. As your hands go back, heart still reaches forward and up. Inhale over your head, exhale back. If you want to get a little faster, you certainly can. If that's a little too much excitement for you this morning, feel free to slow it down. Couple more breaths here. Starting to get a little bit of vigor. We'll go up together one last time. Sweep back together. Gaze forward and down, but keep your heart reaching forward and up, and then shift your weight towards your toes. Lift your heels off the mat, and then slowly start to come down to a seat. Arms starting to reach towards the earth. Pull your palms together towards your heart. Ooh. And then we'll hold here for a moment. It's a little bit of core work here. Squeeze your legs together. Pull up through your pelvic floor, through your perineum. Lift through your heart. And then hands down to the mat. Have a seat with your feet in front of you. Let's take a moment to kind of loosen up. Take your hands behind you, fingertips point back, feet as wide as your mat. Take your knees from one side to the right, and then back to the left. More exploratory movements here. If you find an interesting place to pause, feel free to do so. Then come back to neutral. Heart still lifted. Take your hands behind your knees. Pull your hands towards you to help lift your heart. We tend to kind of round through our lower back here. So we can use this action to, like there's a string in the top of our head lengthening us out. And then you'll shift back just enough so that you can lift your shins, and they're parallel with the earth. Now take your hands, interlace your fingers all but your pointer finger. Reach forward, reach your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen out. On the exhale, draw your knees in, rotate from center, take your hands to the left. Inhale, press out. Exhale, rotate from center, hands to the right. Keep going. We won't be here too long, just enough to feel some transformational amount of heat. Inhale, really press away. Exhale, use your breath to draw your knees back in. Inhale, lengthen out. Let's do one more on each side. Knees pull in, turn towards your left. Lengthen out. To the right. Let's come back out one more time. Just a couple of extra breaths here because I know that you can. And then draw everything up. You can use your hands. Release your feet. And roll all the way to your back. Feet as wide as your mat. Take your hands over your head and then rock your knees from side to side. If your arms are over your head, you can softly bend at your elbows, like soft parentheses. You're just flowing with your breath back and forth, not trying to rush anything here. And then bring your knees back to center. Take your hands behind your thighs. We're going to roll to standing, or you can come through all fours. This is really up to you. So if you're rolling to standing, let's roll on our back 3 times to get some momentum. And we'll see if we can come to standing without even using our hands. Ta-da! Some days it's, yeah, nice. Everybody gets a gold medal. Well done. Those are my favorite, like Olympic victory moments. Okay, now back to chair pose. Feet underneath your hips, weight in your heels, thumbs lead, shift your arms forward and up. Neutral spine. Keep your gaze down and forward. Sweep your hands back with one breath. We'll just keep them here this time. Shift your weight into your toes. Lift your heels, keep your hips low. Stay with me through this. It's going to get interesting and fun, I promise. Stay on your toes and we'll come to standing. So start to straighten your legs, hands sweep down, forward and up. Heels stay lifted. So you're lifting from the very tops of your feet, the very balls of your feet through the crown of your head. Squeeze your shin bones together and then bring your palms together. Heels still lifted. Bend at your hips, bend at your knees. Slowly, with patience for balance, begin to shift forward from your hips. Take your hands all the way down to the earth, then ground your heels. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, and step back into downward dog. It's another good place for a cleansing breath if you feel like that would be helpful. Deep inhale and exhale out your mouth. Recalibrate in downward dog if you need it. We'll get ready for our first wave. Lead with your inhale. Reach your right leg back and up. Keep lifting your right leg as high as you can. Allow your right hip to open. And you could even bend at your right knee. You've got an open hip here, but your shoulders are still square. Finding some liberation here, some expansiveness. Press down through your left heel, lift up through your right knee. Then slowly draw your knee into center. Lift from the middle and place your right foot next to your right thumb. With a slight bend in your back knee, press down, reach forward and up, hands over your head. So we'll take some active twists here. And when we're in active twists, we're not using our elbow as a fulcrum. So I don't want you to make contact yet, and you'll see what I mean. Sweep just your right hand back, take your left elbow across your heart and twist towards your right. Squeeze your thighs towards each other. We're not lowering down yet. Inhale, arms forward and up, reach over your head. Exhale, elbow across your heart, reach back out through your right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbow across, right arm reaches back. This time we'll reach up, a little bit different here. Exhale, get long through your left side. Take your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Make a fist with your bottom hand. Take your top hand on top and then squeeze your legs towards each other. Lengthen out through your back heel. Left ribs towards the inside of right thigh. And then you're using your left elbow to help increase the twist into what we would call a passive twist. So we're no longer using the strength of our own body and our own spine to make this happen. Just a couple more breaths here. Hang with me. I promise it's impermanent. We won't be here forever. And then lower your back knee, but stay in the twist. Make sure your hips are still moving down and forward. And take a moment to notice how once we've lowered our knee down and increased our stability within our foundation, that it might be capable of going a little bit deeper into this twist action. One more breath here. And then release your hands to the mat. We'll take a couple of breaths in a low lunge with your hands on the inside of your front foot. Hips move down and forward. And you could either stay here with your hands, with your shoulders over your hands, or perhaps you want to walk your hands forward like we would do for seal pose. You feel more extension through your spine here. And then this would be the middle stop between putting your elbows. down to the earth and placing your palms together. Notice where any tension is still lingering. Maybe it's in your forehead or perhaps in your grip. Notice the impermanence of that tension as you bring your awareness to it and release it. If you're on your forearms, begin to walk your hands back in towards your right foot. And then take your right hand on the outside of your right foot, everyone. Tuck your back toes, lift through your knee, and shoulders stay over your wrists as you step back slowly with control into plank. And then slowly with control, back down to the earth. Press all 10 toes down, feel your knees lift, press into your fingertips, shoulders loop, open up, liberate through cobra. Exhale, release. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and then through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up as high as you can. Let your hip open, find some freedom here. Release from structure, bend your knee if you'd like. Right heel presses down, left knee lifts up, shoulders square. Stretch through the back of your right leg. And then draw your left knee through center. Shift forward. Place your left foot next to your left thumb. A little bit of a bend in your back knee can be helpful, but not required. And do make sure that your feet are not on a tightrope, but that they're hip distance apart. Now press down, rise up, arms, sweep forward and up. We're going to try again with our active twists, where we're not leaning forward or trying to make contact just yet, just using our obliques and our spine to create that twist action rather than our hips or adding a fulcrum. Exhale, sweep your left arm back, right arm across your heart. Reach back through your right heel. Inhale, both arms lift. Exhale, right ribs turn to the left side. Squeeze your legs together. Inhale, arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, sweep, back thumb up. Inhale, reach forward and up. This time, create length along your right side. Sweep your left hand back. Right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. Squeeze your legs towards each other so that your left hip is moving back in space and your right hip is moving forward. Make a fist with your right hand. Place your left palm on top. Lift back and up through your back hamstring. Keep both legs really active. And then you're using your right elbow to increase the twist. Bring your right ribs towards the inside of your left leg. And as a reminder, we won't be here forever. Remember last time, I definitely give you guys a break. I promise this won't be forever. And then lower your back down, or your back knee down. Stay in your twist. Hips move down and forward. Observing the changes in your body and mind. Now that you've got another connection point, another stability anchor into the earth. Maybe you're able to twist a little bit deeper. And then release your hands to the mat on the inside of your left foot. Palms sealed, square your hips. And then, of course, same options. Stay here with shoulders over your wrists. Or the next step is hands walk forward. And then the step after that would be elbows down all the way. Hands lightly clasped or palms flat together. Notice if you're favoring one side of your hips or another. We tend to avoid the side with the most sensation. So ask yourself what might be on the other side of the sensations and things that I'm avoiding. What new sense of clarity, release, or transformation might be waiting. If you're on your elbows, walk your hands back in towards you. Take your left hand on the inside of your left foot on the inside of your left hand. Tuck your back toes. Step into plank, hips and shoulders same height. Elbows point back, navel draws towards spine. Resist gravity. Fingertips press down, shoulders loop, broaden across your collarbones. Exhale, release. Hands underneath your shoulders, toes tuck through plank or knee plank back to downward dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Lengthen out halfway. Exhale, fold. And we'll find chair pose again. Arms sweep forward, reach up. And this time, sweep your left hand back, right arm parallel with the earth, so you're twisting towards your left. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, twist back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Let's go one more twist back. Reach from fingertips, from your right fingertips to your left fingertips. Squeeze your knees together. Square your hips so that you're not twisting from your hips just to get the twist, but your hips stay in line with your knees. And all of the twisting actually comes from your obliques and your spine rather than your hips. Stay in chair. We're going to do the other side. Arms sweep forward, weight in your heels. Exhale, right hand back. Twist from your spine. Inhale, forward and up, broaden across your collarbones. Exhale, reach back. Right knee moves forward. Inhale, up. Watch for those sneaky knees. Sweep. Inhale, forward. One more time, we'll go back. Hold here. So we have long enough to actually embody this movement and notice where we might be trying to use our hips rather than our spine. It's pretty crazy how much of that twist action, when we stop and notice, actually is coming from our hips rather than our center. And then sweep your arms forward and up. Finally straighten your legs. Maybe a slight back bend here. Lift your heart up and exhale, hands through center. Pour your heart forward. Place your hands down on the mat and step back into downward dog. One more wave here. Reach back and out through your right heel. Exhale, draw your knee in, lift from center, shift forward. Place your foot next to your thumb. Take your left hand underneath your nose and peel or pull up from your right elbow so that you turn open to your right side. You may notice that your right hip is really pointed out. So pull your right hip back in space, lift up from your back thigh. And now exhale, sweep underneath, press down into your left hand, round the space behind your back like we did in our lunge pulses in the beginning. And then inhale, press down into your left hand, open up through your right. Exhale, sweep underneath, press down. Inhale, reach up, left ribs inside of right thigh. Exhale, one more time underneath. We'll lift up together, squeeze your thighs towards each other, and then replace your right hand down to the earth. Step back into plank position, press into your fingertips, use your legs as brakes to help you lower down with strength. It's not just your arms. And then fingertips press down, shoulder blades draw together, collarbones widen. Exhale, back down, hands underneath your shoulders, toes tuck, knees lift through plank to downward dog. Left side. Inhale, leads, left heel lifts up and back. On the exhale, draw your knee into center, lift your right heel, shift forward, place your left foot next to your left hand. Make sure your stance is long enough so that you do get to feel some of that transformation taking place. And then position your right hand underneath your nose. Squeeze your legs in towards each other. Lead with your left elbow, open up, press down into your right hand. We'll pause again in this beginning portion just to check in. Shoulders are starting to stack. Left hip is moving back. Right hip moves slightly forward. Lengthen from right heel to the crown of your head. Now exhale, soften as you sweep your left hand underneath. Press down into your right hand, broaden across your shoulders. Inhale, spine lengthens as you twist. Exhale, sweep underneath, tuck your chin. Inhale, press down, reach up, press down, really press down. Exhale, sweep. One more time, up, big twist, right ribs towards the inside of your left leg. And release your left palm back to the earth. Seal your hands into your mat. Step back with control into plank. And then last time, lower down all the way through chaturanga to the mat. Last cobra, anchor the tops of your feet. Shoulders loop, heart opener, come up for a breath of fresh air. And soften back down. Hands underneath your shoulders. Come back through plank to downward dog and walk your feet to the top of the mat. One last little wee push. Yeah, okay, we'll do this all together. Shift the weight towards the back of your heels. This is the last time we're in chair, and I promise it won't be that long. Inhale, arms forward and up over your head. I'm gonna do the right side first. Exhale, sweep your right hand back. So you're twisting from center. Shift the weight towards your toes, lift your heels, and then slowly, so you actually feel the strength come online. And then when you feel it, maybe slow down even just a little bit more, and then make your way all the way to your heels. Then you're gonna take your hands over to your right side. We're setting up for side crow here. Some of you are wondering, this is where we're going. It is. So again, yoga is all about play and practice and not the destination. So if you're worried about whether or not you can get into side crow today, just enjoy the movement and the experimentation of it all. Get curious rather than attached to the final result. So to do this, you'll take your hands to your right side, fingertips and toes point in the same direction. Position your hands so that they're the same distance as your shoulders. And then you want to get your left bicep on the outside of your right thigh here. Then you lift your hips slightly, shift your weight a little more towards your center, press into your fingertips, gaze forward. I like to lift my right foot first here, and then my left. And then you're maybe in side crow, maybe still experimenting. Maybe you know that you want to add on and you can, but lift from your side body to get your feet off the mat. And then when you're done, you can come back to center. If you want to give it another shot, you certainly can. Up to you. We'll take one more go at it. So it looks like a couple people might be still engaging in some playtime. And then come back to center. When you're done, take your hands down to the earth, lift your hips. Take your thumbs into your hip creases, press your hips back, lengthen your heart forward. We'll come all the way up to standing. Now take your hands down to your hips, take your arms out to your sides. This is my favorite way to kind of like wash everything off and really get enough momentum to where your hands actually slap your back. Most of you know this, but I didn't make this up. This is actually a calorie warm-up. My certain students will ask me, this is weird yoga. It kind of is, but I enjoy it. Slowly come to a stop. Bring your head back down to your sides. We feel a little bit looser now. We can get on the last side. Find chair pose, hips back, reach through the crown of your head, arms come forward and up. Exhale, left hand behind you, thumb pointing up, right hand reaching forward. So these two arms are really active. Shift your weight towards your toes, lift your heels, and then slowly use your strength, find your strength. Come all the way down. Oh, and you start to feel it right about here. Oh, can maybe wobble a little bit, and that's okay. And then come all the way down. Release your hands to the left side. Fingertips point in the same direction as your toes. You've got a long right side body here. Left elbow presses into the right elbow presses into the right side or the outside of your left thigh. And your elbows are going to stay, like I said, shoulder distance apart and point straight back, just like they do when we lower down from chaturanga. So the first step is lifting your hips, shift forward and press the weight into your fingertips. Lift your left foot maybe just first, and then try lifting your right foot, and then twist from your side to lift your feet a little more. So you're rotating up. Gaze is forward rather than back. And then when you've had enough, come down, regroup. Since we gave it another shot, another pass on the right side, it's only fair that we try it again on the left side too. So really position your right bicep down on your outside of your left thigh. Square up your hands. Point your elbows straight back, shift forward. Lift from your center to get your feet off the floor. Gaze forward, press into your fingertips. Whenever you're ready, come back to center. And we'll come back to standing. One last time, inhale your arms over your head. Exhale your hands through center, nice and slow. Bring your hands to your hips. We'll just take some ease, fluid-like movements through our hips. Clean the slate. Start to calm our heart rates down, calm our minds down. before we head into our finishing asanas. Slowly breathe your arms up over your head and really take your time to fill your breath. And then slowly, with control, exhale, fold forward. Hands all the way down to the mat. And then have a seat with your feet in front of you. Arms reach forward. Slowly roll all the way to your back. To get my knot out of the way there. Take your feet as wide as the mat, hands above your head, elbows bent softly. Drop your knees to the right. And we'll just stay here rather than finding a bunch of movement back and forth. This position is really great if we've done a lot of forward folding because it gives us an opportunity to lengthen across the front of our hip. And if you're feeling that length or that stretch across the front of your left hip here, that's fantastic. And if you want to feel more, you could place your right foot on the outside top part of your left thigh and then press down and forward like you're stretching the skin of your left thigh towards your knee. And then even press your left hip forward. That's only okay. That's only if it's okay with your knee. See if you can slow your heart rate down by lengthening your inhale and exhale. And then release your right foot to the outside edge of your mat. Take your knees through center, over to the left. If this is enough stretch across the front of your right hip for you, stay here. If you'd like more, the left foot can go on the outside of your top right thigh, pressing down and forward, and pressing forward through your right hip. Become aware of any shifts of energy from when you started class. Think about how this sense of calm and presence for the past almost an hour, how can you use this hour of calm to create a lens for the rest of your day? And then place your left foot on the outside edge of your mat. Take your knees through center. Position your feet hip width distance apart. Bend at your elbows. Take your feet close enough to your glutes. Maybe you could touch your ankles, but you don't have to. We're going to take a bridge here. We've done a lot of forward folding, so we're not going to do any extreme back bends. So just press down into your elbows, press down and forward into your feet to lift your hips. Keep space in the back of your neck by keeping space between your chin and your chest. If you can keep this space behind the back of your neck and roll your shoulders underneath you to create more space behind your heart, do so. And then maybe you'll be able to illuminate the back bend a little more, lift your hips a little more. Feel a length from sternum to navel. And then release. We'll take one more and you can maintain that same elbows bent, fingertips pointing up, or you can clasp your hands underneath you. We'll start with elbows bent. Press down to your feet, forward with your shins, and then clasp your hands underneath you. Keeping space between chin and chest, maybe you roll your shoulders behind you. Clasping your arms if that feels okay with your shoulders, lifting through your hips and pressing down through your feet. Using those two actions to really create the essence of this pose. And then separate your hands. Slowly release your hips back down to the mat. Take your hands over your head once again. Couple windshield wiper motions from side to side to release your lower back before we pull our knees in. And then you can pull your knees into your chest. Clasp your hands around your shins, drawing your knees in towards your chest, rolling softly from side to side, rounding through your lower back. Maybe you want to find happy baby, or you could stay with your knees to chest. Either way, rock slowly with a calm sea, like you're rocking yourself into a more peaceful state as we approach Shavasana. Start to notice any tension lingering in your forehead. See what you can release even before we head to our final rest state. And then bring the soles of your feet together, interlace your fingers. On an inhale, press your knees away from you, lengthen out through your arms, stretch through the insides of your legs and outer parts of your hips. And then on an exhale, you can release your feet, stretch your legs out in front of you. Feet as wide as your mat. Hands to your sides, palms open. Maybe arrange your shoulders a little more underneath you like we do in bridge pose. Do a quick scan. See what else you can let go. And let go again. You sink into the earth. Allow yourself to be fully supported by the mat and the earth below you. Stay here in this peaceful state. I'll be sure to be here for you to tell you when it's time to come out. without moving a muscle. Bring your awareness back into the space around you. Bring your awareness into your physical body by deepening your inhale and exhale. Making small movements with your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Stretch your arms above your head from fingertips to toe tips. Bend at your knees. Roll to one side and pause for a moment, using your bicep as a pillow. So once again, contemplate how this past hour can be a lens through which you see the rest of your day. And use your strong top arm to press you up into a seated position. The top of your mat, palms together, sitting tall in a dignified, proud way. Thank you all so much for continuing to support each other in this yoga community, and continuing to practice for yourselves and also all the people around you that benefit from this peaceful practice. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.